Nothing changes if nothing changes. So if things don't start to move in a different direction, we will not move in a different direction. If something's wrong with your life and nothing is done about it, then the result will be the same. And I use it a lot with people when I do counseling. They come in with all these issues and we talk for a long time. We come to these conclusions and then they kind of want to make the same decisions. And I say, that's not going to work. We were there before. That doesn't do anything. We're going to talk a little bit about that tonight. So let's start story time. There is always something else. Something else to do, something else to fight, something else to be. This spiritual battle has no end in sight, and it's exhausting at times. You see, my natural tendency when giving a speech, more often when writing a blog or inspirational essay, is to pick a direction and challenge, to pick a specific topic and draw out a thorough argument or reason why change is necessary. It's like getting a huge cattle prod and just poking as many people as I can. And sure enough, the ones you shock a bit move. But how far do they go? And for how long? Is lasting change actually on the agenda? As I planned on yet another teaching, I thought to myself, there's got to be a better way. A way that leads to genuine change, of becoming new. Not just meandering down a new path only to be confused after you've walked a little bit and turn back to what is familiar. This lack of true growth is exhausting to live, and it's exhausting to teach through. I know personally I don't like many things more in a speaker than honesty. One who bears their soul and speaks from a place of real. I can remember those who get up on stage and talk about life in a manner that makes me think they haven't ever really struggled, haven't ever really been hopeless, lost, angry with God, confused about salvation, or questioning the meaning of each day. They rattle off a plan for life that takes everything into account except the brokenness of man. I'm not going to lie to you right now and tell you how bad life is for me, tell you that I don't know which way is up, and sometimes I just want to give up. I've been there before, but that isn't me today. Lately, I've been relishing a new relationship, finding joy in my occupations, and finding life with good friends. All in all, things are going pretty well. Here's the kicker, though. I'm spiritually worn out. I'm in a bizarre place in ministry that I once believed was my only destiny, standing in front of others, calling them to a greater life with Jesus. Be truly alive, my brothers and sisters. Walk in a life-changing surrender. Find a greater understanding of Jesus' love and covering of your sin that will change your life. I'm tired. I don't want to try walking through inspiration only to have it fall on deaf ears. I'm tired of trying to recharge a battery that either can't hold a charge or only gets a minor jolt. A jolt that may be enough to lead a few in a healthy place with God for a short time. And then what? I'm tired of things not changing. I'm tired of people making the same mistakes, walking the same roads, becoming the same people. People who are not living examples of the life and sacrifice of Jesus. Christians who don't look so much like Christ. I have an idea of what this confession might accomplish, but I'm under no illusion that it will truly be different than any other time you sat out in a crowd and heard someone talk. I don't know how far this can run. I'm tired. Some of you out in the audience are brimming with life. You can't wait to share it. Even now, you're a bit uncomfortable with the tone of this speech. All I can say to you is be still. Know that God is in charge and rest in the fact that you are accountable to Him as am I, and trust that there is a purpose here. For the rest of you in the room who are worn, confused, unsure about where to go, or generally disappointed with the way life is turning out, listen carefully. The further we sink into ourselves, the further despair takes hold in the midst of spirituality, things won't get better. They won't get easier. This is why I don't want to poke you into an artificial experience. What words of life could come out of my mouth that would inspire you to be much different, so much different that you don't hurt anymore? What could possibly be said that changes life in a way that things will be different this time? What if we instead try to get to the bottom of it all? What if instead of dancing around the issue, you ventured into your pain and found the truth? The truth. The place where only real things live. The place where all the parts of you that don't belong find no rest. A place where honesty is the only currency and freedom is all that is known to be purchased. A place where honesty is the only currency and freedom is all that is known to be purchased. The place where only real things live. But even as I say those words, recoil is found throughout this room. There's too much yet undiscovered. There's too much unknown. There's too much that we ourselves don't even realize that we're hiding from. Deception is everywhere. I can't let that part out. It's too dangerous. It's too scary. It's too real. Now your heart beats a little faster. So what, you might say? I have secrets, as does everyone in here. Yeah, there's darkness within me, but I'm not overrun by it. We all have our hidden stories. It's not that big of a deal. The fact that your first reaction is to hide is only confirming what I already know is true about myself and what I believe is true about all of us. We're sick, and the only way out is honesty. One cannot take their medicine if they are unwilling to get the script filled. Even more, one doesn't know what the medicine to take without a diagnosis by a doctor. But I don't want to look at my pain. I don't want to find out what is wrong with me. If only there were a shortcut. If only there was a way I could continue to learn more about Jesus and fall more in love with him and walk more by the Holy Spirit and wander into this new place that is truly free. Just don't let anyone ever know about my secret. There are things too dark and they aren't for others to hear. And they aren't for me to think about. And they aren't for me to deal with. I don't want to play some clever game where I list off sins and hope it sticks. I know you struggle with porn. I know you've been molested. I know you're hopelessly selfish. I know you're depressed. I know you're suicidal. I know you're stuck in sin. We're all that person. The point is finally admitting to it and getting the help you need. I'm tired of trying all the right answers for the wrong question. Square peg, round hole. Round peg, square hole. What the crap? And then you hear it softly in your soul in that deep place where God whispers and you know it's true. The place where honesty is the only currency and freedom is all it is purchased. You know it. The place where only real things live. There's hurt within you that you haven't wanted to deal with. And so on the outside, someone comes and talks to you about what it really means to pray or die to self or serve or be a friend. And you try so hard to do these things, even letting God guide you in the process, but you're just getting worn out. Square peg, round hole. And God keeps pointing you towards something else. No, you say. I don't want to deal with that. Let's work on something less painful. Square peg, round hole. But that broken part of you is longing to be fixed. That deep soul wound is crying out to God for reconciliation. Heal me, Jesus. It's not necessarily you that's crying. It's your wound. You're doing everything you can not to let it out. You're doing everything you can to smother it right now so your neighbor can't hear, can't see. Be still, my heart. Stop beating so quick or else I shall be exposed. And what if that were to occur? What if all my sins, past and current, could flash up on a screen? You would no doubt be appalled and lose all respect for me. But I would be free. What more could I be hiding once the game is up? You would know it already. What more could Satan trick me into believing that isn't true about myself? To say that I am the worst of sinners is of course revealing, but to see it with your eyes, that's a confirmation that I wouldn't want. And yet I would be free. Square peg, square hole. Round peg, round hole. What would I owe any of you? Nothing. What would I feel awkward about? Nothing. You've seen me at my worst. We're so scared of being found out. I believe that it is in being found out that our freedom waits. It is in our honest confession that we begin a different kind of journey. This confession is not to others, but to ourselves. When we're not hiding from ourselves anymore, we're actually free to be real, even with others. Sometimes we try to put the cart before the horse. We try to confess the deep dark within us, and then in the middle of the confession, we get scared because we haven't yet dealt with what was inside, and we cut it short. We feel better initially because we finally told someone a little bit about the darkness, about the secrets. We might even revel in that for a short time, trying hard to ignore the bad stuff that's still underneath, unconfessed, hidden, even from ourselves. Denial. And then we continue again, broken deep inside, square peg, round hole, square peg, round hole, hammer. Huge friggin' hammer, and I'll make that stupid peg fit. No, you won't. You've got to actually deal with it this time if you want it to be any different. There's nowhere else you can go. God will not leave you unperfected. You are to be conformed to the image of the likeness of His Son, and Jesus was not hiding who He was. He was free. His currency was truth, and His product was freedom. It is the same for us here today. Until you're honest with yourself and you start dealing with the crap, you're not going anywhere. We can get together every week and we can bandage up the broken heart. But until you figure out why the brokenness is there to begin with, we'll just be spinning our tires. We can do it over and over and over and over and over until you are an old woman and an old man. But lasting change will elude you. Being conformed to the image of the likeness of His Son will be a pretty phrase, but never a realization. The freedom you're longing for must be based in truth. And truth is finally being honest with yourself about what's really going on, what's really wrong. Freedom is at your doorstep. God will not leave you unchanged, and you can't wait till you die to be fixed. Jesus tells us that if we know what we must do and we don't do it, then we are sinning. It's time to be honest with yourself. It's time to stop running. It's time to stop hiding. What is He showing you? It's time to look deep inside with integrity and deal with what you find. If you don't know who you are, then go find out. If you don't know why you hurt, then take some time and discover. If you don't know what that scary lack of peace is, then be still until it becomes clear. Square peg, square hole. Then watch what God does when you're actually free to follow Him. When your arms and legs, your heart and mind, or spirit and soul aren't bound by something that you refuse to recognize. Watch what happens when you aren't fighting against yourself and there's only one enemy and God is on your side. Watch what happens. Be free tonight. Go to counseling, talk to a friend, a pastor, journal. Be still with Jesus, whatever it takes. I pray over you now that you will find no rest until honesty crashes upon you. If you're too scared to deal with the dark, then have fun living in it for the rest of your life. Looking to the right answers for the wrong questions will be a blast. And if you continue to run, then know this, there is no peace in that journey. Your whole life will be exhaustion, and that stupid peg will never fit. Square peg, round hole. So now is your chance to respond to God. The wonderful part about this is I can't fix it and Kyle can't fix it. This is between you and Jesus.